Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to unpack a concept that, honestly, might sound just a little bit extreme at first, but I promise you, it is an absolute game changer. We're going to explore why assuming your AI is actively trying to mislead you is actually the single most valuable professional habit you can build right now. I know, it sounds a lot like paranoia, right? But as you'll see, it's really just essential professional hygiene. Okay, so the core premise here is actually pretty simple. Treating every single AI output as potentially misleading, inaccurate, or incomplete isn't about being a huge skeptic. It's about protecting yourself from really subtle errors. You just have to verify before you act. Over time, making this your default setting is literally the difference between using AI brilliantly and getting completely burned by it. All right, here's our roadmap for today. We'll be looking at the adversarial AI mindset, tone versus factual substance, 3 essential verification questions, expanding your verification techniques, and finally, the career-long double check. So let's dive right in. Section 1, the adversarial AI mindset, reframing paranoia as practice. Let's see how this builds our foundational stance. We need to establish a crucial difference right out of the gate. Adversarial verification, it is absolutely not complete tech distrust. We aren't talking about hostility toward the tool itself, because AI tools produce genuinely useful stuff most of the time. Instead, this stance is just a highly practical acknowledgement of documented risks. We're verifying against things like hallucinated citations, completely made-up statistics, confidently wrong reasoning, or even outdated information disguised as current. You aren't refusing to use AI, you're just managing the inherent risks intelligently. Moving to Section 2, tone versus factual substance, unmasking the trap. Okay, this is where it gets tricky. The biggest danger you're facing is a pattern known as the confident hallucination. You know how a real person might stumble, pause, or kind of hedge their bets when they don't know something? Yeah, AI doesn't do that. It doesn't stutter. Instead, it fires back an answer that sounds absolute, certain, and completely authoritative. It masks its lack of knowledge with extreme confidence. You could ask it an incredibly obscure question it has no clue about, and it'll confidently tell you the sky is neon green without skipping a beat. And you see, this completely hijacks a fundamentally broken human instinct. As humans, we are literally hardwired to use tone as a primary signal for truth. If someone speaks confidently, we just intuitively tend to believe them. But with AI, that signal is entirely broken. Everything in AI output sounds reliable. So your verification process has to consciously look past the tone entirely. Only the actual, factual substance matters. Which brings us to Section 3. 3 essential verification questions, your mental triage. So how do we actually fight back against that false confidence? You use these 3 essential questions as your immediate, actionable defense mechanism. You prompt the AI, it spits out an output, and before you do anything with it, you just hit pause and ask. First, is there a claim here I cannot verify myself? Second, is there a number or a date I should cross-check? Numbers are notoriously bad for slipping through the cracks of large language models, so they always need a second glance. And third, is there reasoning I should test out on my own? For every yes, you just do a quick check, look up the claim, verify the date, trace the logic. Taking just a minute or 2 to run this mental triage prevents massive costs down the line. All right, Section 4, expanding your verification techniques, a practical guide. Now, let's expand on those questions with specific techniques, depending on exactly what the AI gave you. This table maps your action plan out perfectly. First up, facts and stats. Always do a quick web search for a reliable source. If an AI claims a 2023 Harvard study found X, verify that exact study actually exists. It is incredibly common for these models to just invent plausible-sounding research. Next, calculations. You should always roughly redo these yourself. Remember, AI models don't actually do math. They predict the next most likely token in a sequence. Because of this, they make super weird arithmetic errors, especially on complex, multi-step problems. Then we have quotes. Oh man, treat quotes as highly suspicious. AI loves piecing together plausible words into entirely fake quotes attributed to real people. Never rely on an AI citation unless you've confirmed the original text. Now for legal or medical advice, the stakes are just way too high here. A hallucination can have disastrous real-world consequences, so absolutely always run these by a qualified professional. And finally, for code or technical solutions, test them in a small, isolated environment before deploying anything live. You literally have to match the verification technique to the specific risk. Here's a phenomenal pro tip for your everyday workflow. create an audit trail. Right from the jump, explicitly instruct the AI to cite its sources. If it throws out an unsourced claim later on, stop and ask for the source. And when it gives you that link, actually check it directly. Now, requiring sources won't magically eliminate all hallucinations, but it actually forces the AI to ground its token prediction in stated context. It pushes the whole model toward producing much more verifiable output, and hey, it gives you something concrete to double-check. Let's bring it home with Section 5. The career-long double-check, your greatest asset. We really need to understand the broader cultural shift happening right now. 10 years ago, information professionals worked mostly with fact-checked sources, right? Newspapers, trusted databases. Today, AI has made information incredibly fast, wildly abundant, and honestly, largely unverified. In this new landscape, fast information is just cheap. The ability to verify quickly and reliably, that is your true professional differentiator. The people who verify are going to become the most trusted, indispensable professionals in the room. I absolutely love this point. If you've spent a career instinctively double-checking important work, you already know the profound value of verification. That hard-earned habit is absolutely not obsolete in the age of AI. It is a massive competitive advantage. Just apply that exact same rigorous standard to AI outputs. Resist the temptation to let the AI's speed and persuasiveness make you skip the check. If you leverage your verification skills here, you're going to easily pull way ahead of colleagues who mistakenly treat AI like some infallible oracle. So, to wrap up this explainer, I've got a challenge for you. Sometime this week, commit to verifying at least one claim from every single important AI interaction you have. Build that intuition. And hey, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below about the very first hallucination you catch. Because at the end of the day, the real question isn't if the AI is going to make something up, it's whether you'll be sharp enough to catch it.